Hello everybody and welcome back to some more NASCAR Heat 5 Custom Championship season without the playoffs, where today we're heading on over to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600, which will be obviously the longest race of the season. I'm not changing, the duration of the race or anything. It's just, naturally the longest race because 13% of a 600-mile race is going to be longer than 13% of a 500-mile race and everything else that we do. So let's go ahead and get started and hope that we can survive and hopefully make up some ground on the top two in the points. Let's see where we're going to go ahead and qualify. Once again, I don't think this is a very good lap. 2 seconds off the pace. Dead last. Wow, that could not have gone any worse. How far off were we? Okay, we weren't actually that far off. We were only off by a whole tenth of 39th place Bobby Carter. Once again, I don't know what's going on. I felt like I've usually done pretty well at mile and a halves, but now for some reason we just seem to be absolutely terrible on anything that involves, having fresh tires. So we're going to have to try and improve. It is a long race, so there is plenty of time for that to happen. But moving up through the rest of the qualifying results, we can see that Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Truex, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Busch. Yeah, we're going to have to hope that the fact that this is a longer race can help us. But that also means there's a bigger chance for cautions to come out. So we're going to hope that does not happen. Okay, so I have gone all out, and I have loosened up the car a little bit. Actually, Truex is starting alongside us, so we're not actually starting in last because his car was illegal or something like that. But I'm sure he'll probably just, launch out of here and suddenly pass everybody. 52 laps. We're going to need obviously at least one pit stop, potentially two, depending on how our tires, perform. I'm hoping we don't have massive tire issues like we did at Kansas. And if we do, hopefully all the AI do, because last time it didn't seem like that was the case. But we'll have to see. We're getting a push from Truex. It's kind of generous of you considering there's nowhere to go. This track, I don't know. Is it just me or does this track feel really narrow in this game? I noticed it during qualifying because that's, the only other time I've raced on this track. But I don't know if it's just because I'm pretty sure they don't do actual scans of the track for this game. But the track seems a lot narrower than I'm familiar with. I have raced this track. This is my most raced track by far in iRacing, which is actually scanned. But it just seems to be really off-putting. Okay, Truex is really giving me a shove here. I'm trying to keep him behind me because I feel like if he shoves me, we could, actually make up some ground here. But this also seems very risky. I also loosened up the car just a bit after qualifying because I felt like, we have to do something to get some kind of more speed. Because obviously qualifying dead last and we're being shoved by one of the fastest cars. We kind of need all the help we can get. Okay, at this point, it's basically a restrictor plate race. I don't know what to tell you. I'm surprised we have not wrecked yet. Okay, he's just going to go ahead and pass us because our car is down on 50 horsepower. I see a big gaggle of cars ahead of us as we touch the apron. Not something we want to do. But you see up there's a 3-car white battle. And those cars just kind of seem to be slowing down a little bit. Maybe we can try and at least get up to them. This, again, could be a damage limitation race. I feel like, honestly, we're not doing bad season-wise. We're not really making up ground on the leaders, so it's not looking good in terms of the championship. But we're not doing bad by any means. We're still solidly in the top 5 or 6 in points, which, not bad. You're not always going to win the championship, but I would still like to, put up some better performances, actually compete for some of these wins, make it a bit more interesting. Hopefully Truex can help us out with that. I say that, and then I ended up actually getting pushed to the outside there. I really don't know what it is. It's just that on the straightaway, our car is 5 or 6 miles an hour slower. Brendan Gaughan coming down ahead of us like that also does not help. Okay, I keep clipping that apron. Not exactly something that you'd like to do, but you know what? We're getting lucky because fortunately their cars are able to withstand the force of ours. 8 tires faster than 4. Obviously not true, but 8 tires will definitely have more grip than 4. I'm pretty sure physics would be able to prove that. But I'm not a physician, which, obviously a physician, doctor, different thing. Play on words. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. This is a long race. Don't mind me if I go, somewhat crazy over the span of this. Also, I will say our right front, okay, now this is what happened. Our right front, at least a lap ago, looked completely fine. And now it's just kind of burnt off a little bit. It's really once they get up to, temperature, as we just kind of, poke a hole in a radiator using the rear end of Joey Gase. That's when the tire just kind of plummets, falls off a cliff, right there. But before that, it was looking pretty even. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was looking like you could honestly make the whole race without even changing tires, which would have been insane. Oh my gosh, there's a big wreck. Okay, is there not going to be a caution for that? Because Hello, Trix. I like how Trix somehow made it that far ahead of us already. But just like that, we're now back up onto him. 96% on arrow. That was okay. Well, you know what? It's okay. We have some cars that are like dead in the middle of the track. We don't need a caution. This is what pure chaos looks like. I did say I would prefer not having cautions. I would have preferred that it happened behind me, because now even if we get a pretty good run, we have lost so much time on a lot of the cars ahead of us, about 6 seconds or so, based off the interval to the leader. Also, our car sliding around quite a bit there. Not exactly what you'd like to see. I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's Daniel Hemrick or Tyler Reddick. Keep getting the names confused because I remember Hemrick obviously used to be in that kind of car. But not exactly looking well for us now. Where are we actually? We're 27th. That's not great. And we're very far behind some of these other cars ahead of us. So again, very long race. A bunch of things can happen. We're going to have to hope that a lot more things happen. As our car, oh gosh, this thing is just... Yeah. This handles miserably. I have no idea what just happened there. I did loosen the car up. It's as if the car is tight, but it's also loose in the fact that, you know, obviously just, you know, almost span out. But I have no idea what to do. Okay, you see, my issue was, at least in like the last lap or two when I did that, was I was still trying to go like full throttle throughout these corners. You do have to lift at this point because our tires have worn off pretty significantly, including the left front, which I think is really weird. I don't know why the left front would be that worn compared to like even, you know, the right rear. I have no idea. Maybe they had something to do with the whole evasive maneuver that we had to do when we were trying to avoid that wreck. Don't really know why the game didn't consider that a caution. It's really weird. In past races, I always go through and like watch the replays afterwards to like try and get a screenshot for a thumbnail. I usually see like what caused the caution, and most of the time when a caution happens, it's usually because like one car blew an engine and somebody just rear-ended him, but there's not actually any, you know, carnage happening. And then you see that happen. We've seen this happen multiple times, where we just see a bunch of chaos taking place on the track right ahead of us, and there's cars everywhere, but there's no caution. I really don't understand what the parameters are that, you know, causes a caution to happen. Also, it looks like the 38 here. David's got a... Okay, wait a minute. Who is that? Why... Oh, that's John Hunter Nemechek. I'm so confused. I thought it was the 36 of David Reagan. Never mind. He's got a lot of damage on his front end. So I'm assuming that was also from the wreck. He should be a lot slower than us, which, I mean, I guess could be pretty evident based on the fact that we did just pass him. But we're just going to continue trying to move forward because the caution system in this game is kind of weird. And I say that, obviously, I did say at the start of the race, I don't think we want cautions because with how slow our car seems to be on fresh tires compared to everybody else, we really want as much chaos and as much worn tire wear to happen because that's what's going to help us out in the long run. Okay, so Daniel Suarez decided to absolutely park his car in the middle of turns 3 and 4 there. I had nowhere to go. He was right in the middle of the track too, so we're going to take a bit more damage from that. I think we did. And then go ahead and move alongside him, but that was not very much appreciated. We had a huge run there, and as you can see, Joey Logano is already starting to run us down. We're only a corner ahead of him now, but we're definitely going to end up a lap down. If there's no caution, which, like I said, I don't think we want one, really, we're not going to beat him. That was a terrible corner. We might be the ones causing the caution.
All right, you're clear.
You know what? Don't even put a caution out. I would not be surprised. We've just absolutely murdered Matt. Okay, there we go. That was entirely on me. Yeah. Okay. We can live with that. You know what? Do I even take left side tires? I think we need to try and gain as much track position here as we can. Let's just take right sides. There's not a whole lot we can do. You got to pit at least one more time because you don't have enough, you know, fuel to make it to the end. We're not going to repair because then we may as well just take the other tires. Let's go ahead and see if this gets us anywhere. We gained 14 spots. Congratulations. We are now in the top 10. Thank you for your sacrifice, Matt DiBenedetto. Rest in peace as, I mean, we caused a huge crash behind us. See, they caused a caution for that, but who knows? I don't know. We're going to have to see how this works. Technically, these cars ahead of us should also still be on like worn tires. I'm hoping that means we're not going to actually perform terribly like we did at the start. And then maybe, hey, we abused a game mechanic, I guess. Unintentionally. Obviously, I didn't actually intend to take out Matt DiBenedetto, but I entered that corner absolutely terribly. And, I figured why not finish the job? That's not actually true. Okay, the car just did not want to turn there. Yeah, this is not going to go well. A lot of the cars behind us are probably going to have 4 fresh tires, which means they're just going to be even quicker already. Even, quicker than they were at the start compared to us. We're just going to have to hold on for dear life and hope that we don't lose too much ground by the time everybody starts to, like, even out. And I'm going to help that process by kind of blocking these cars as much as I can. You get to the back stretch and they just hope that they don't suddenly have like nitrous in their car or something, and they just kind of take off. But what an interesting race this has been so far. Okay, my car just does not turn in 3 or 4. Okay, there goes Busher and there goes Newman. Matt Kenseth was, yeah, I mean, he had a huge run. I don't know why he stopped. But we just can't carry any speed in this corner right now. Probably because, you know, the left side tires are, you know, fairly worn already. They should still be fine. We shouldn't have to pit any earlier because of that, but it's going to be a weird balance in the car until, you know, later in the run. It is actually dangerous, the amount of speed that I lose in the middle of the corner of 3 and 4 compared to some of these AI. I mean, in the middle of the corner, I just have to let off the gas entirely, and they just come flying out of nowhere. If you look at the rearview mirror, it's actually pretty frightening. But, I mean, hey, we're still running in a better spot, and even right there, actually. You just see how much quicker they get than us. It's kind of weird, as I'm trying not to be wrecked here by Matt Kenseth, because that would not end well, although, honestly, I might deserve it. Honestly, if I ever deserved to be wrecked, it would definitely be in this race, after we just absolutely destroyed the 21 earlier. I'm kind of using Eric Almirola to help our car turn. He probably doesn't appreciate it too much. There's Truex, who was supposed to start at the front, started in the back with us. We had a better strategy than him to get towards the front, but we're obviously, you know, so much slower than him. I think at this point we're just kind of dragging Matt Kenseth along with us. My car is just so bad in the corner. We can't do anything about it. 93% on the aero as well. It's actually just continuing to get worse. But I don't know. We're going to have to see. If this turns into a long green flag run, it could still be okay for us. Otherwise, I think we're in pretty big danger of just having a terrible car for the rest of the race. Yeah, at this point, the aero damage is definitely causing us some kind of issue going in a straight line. I mean, at 93%, you definitely expect it by that point. You know, some of that is our fault. Some of that I don't think is necessarily our fault, with like the whole evasive maneuver and everything going on in the wreck earlier in the race. But hey, you know what? If I'm being honest, both wrecks were pretty bad. Only one of them caused a caution. I don't know who's up there. It's not David Hoots or whatever his name is anymore. They have somebody else up there that's just really inconsistent with deciding when to put the yellow flag there on the track. All right, hey, you know what? Are we actually going to make it past now? If this is where we even out, I'm okay with this. Because then I think we still gained positions as a result of, you know, sacrificing the 21 to the, you know, to the infield garage. Okay, I don't want to enter these corners very low because the car is already struggling in the corner as it is, so we don't need to make it any more difficult. Okay, let's see if we can go ahead and run down some of these cars ahead of us, or at the very least maintain this position, because this race is, at this point for us, it's just pure survival. I have no idea what's going on, but this car is just terrible compared to what we've had in some previous races. So once again, as if it's a restrictor plate track, I've kind of just been blocking Cole Custer and Austin Dillon behind me to try and get a shove from them. It's been working so far, and now that their tires seem to be wearing out a little bit, it should be good, at least good enough for us to actually try and make some kind of ground up here. Unfortunately, without some kind of, you know, divine intervention or some meteor like taking out the front half of the track, we're probably not going to have a good chance of like actually getting a top 10, but we could still, you know, salvage yet again like another, you know, top 15 or so, just based on the fact that that's where we tend to be finishing in a lot of these races. We need to figure something out though, because I don't know what's going on with this car. We've just been really slow the last 2 races, especially on these short green flag runs. I don't know if there's a setting I need to change, but if there is, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. We did not need to see that. We did not need to see another caution. That is the last thing we wanted to see here. We're going to have to pit. And you can make it the rest of the way after this. You have to take 4 tires at this point. Yeah, you can't just... Okay, maybe you could make the left side tires survive the entire time, but I'm not going to try that. Should we repair the damage? I think we should. This is probably going to drop us all the way to the tail end of the field, but I think it's a safe play. Okay, we only lost 7 spots, which is still really bad. We're now 26th. We're actually behind our teammate, but I don't know. Hopefully it goes green from here on out. I feel like that's the best situation we could hope for. This race has had more cautions than I'm pretty sure all the other races combined. Well, not combined, but all of them had. Mainly because I don't think we've ever had more than 1 caution in a race until this one, which now we have 2. Should have had 3 if we're being honest. I am definitely like touching Michael McDowell's quarter panel here because I'm just trying to shave off as much speed from our opponents as we can. Okay, well, we got like 19 laps to go. We're getting a shove from behind. Okay, now the car actually turns, so that is a good thing. It might have just been the fact that we didn't have any left side tires during the last run where the car just didn't want to turn in 3 and 4. But we're still slow, which is not great. We want to keep as many of these cars behind us as we can. Because again, you know, give it 5 or 6 laps and then our car will start to come to life. And then hopefully this time a caution won't come out. Honestly, we've kind of had a lot of bad luck so far this race. We got kind of lucky with the way that, like, you know, us wrecking DiBenedetto helped us. But beyond that, everything that could have gone wrong has basically gone wrong for us so far, on top of the fact that this car is just not quick, like, at all. Okay, and this guy is just looking to wreck us. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, David Reagan, we did kind of abuse your car a little bit earlier. But please be gentle, as there's a huge pack right here ahead of us. Hopefully that keeps Stenhouse within distance of us. Okay, do I even try to dive it in here? I think we do. This is a terrible decision, but the car's stuck. I'm actually surprised. There's got to be... Okay, Bobby Carter's up here slowing down everybody, as that was terrible. David Reagan just about sent me into the wall. There's nothing I can really do here. We're just kind of being dragged down because some of these cars are so slow. We're being shoved into like a 3 or almost 4 wide situation by Daniel Suarez. Yeah, I think Bobby Carter's holding up the field. I don't think he's actually supposed to be up here. He might be on like worn tires or something else is happening. I don't know what the situation is. There he is, though. We're going to go ahead and move along by, take the free positions. Hopefully he can hold up some of those cars a little bit longer, because we need to get away, because you can see here Michael McDowell is still probably faster than us. The tires have definitely not worn enough yet. Yeah, we got to wait probably another, honestly, maybe even 10 laps. We're not going to have a whole lot of time at the end, assuming it goes green all the way to the end, to really make up a whole lot of ground. Okay, Austin Dillon. I feel it's really weird when these cars really get on your bumper. They just do not let go no matter what, even if you're in a corner. And especially when you're playing on a gamepad like I am, because I'm using a Xbox One controller here on PC. It's really hard to be smooth enough to avoid them wrecking you. It hasn't happened yet, but I can guarantee you at some point, probably this season, honestly, one of them is going to do that. And me trying to correct the fact that they're about to spin me out is going to lead to me just going head on into the wall. And hopefully, you know, hopefully it doesn't happen in a race where we're actually competing well for like a win, because that would, you know, be really sad. Hopefully it happens in a race where we're already struggling. Honestly, if it happened in this race, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I would hope it wouldn't happen, because this is, you know, the longest race of the season. So you don't want to effectively waste 30 minutes if that happens. But who knows? Still plenty of time. I wouldn't put it against any of these AI, you know, trying to get revenge for Matt DiBenedetto earlier in the race and just taking me out. Okay, I can tell based on the fact that my car wants to spin around when I go into the corners now, that the tires are definitely worn in. And I can also tell because, I mean, we've kind of run back up to our teammate here, and we should be able to get around him as low. Okay, that was a sketchy corner there, Bubba. I don't know what you're doing. You gotta... I don't know why they keep doing that. They keep cutting to like the very middle of the track, and it makes it impossible to dive below them. But I don't want to go to the high side, because that seems like a bad idea. That was also our fastest lap so far this race, which I really don't understand. I don't understand how... Okay, that was a bad time to hit the apron. How this settings work in this game, because I have more grip on, right? So theoretically, that should just mean that as your tires wear out, you'll lose time less quickly. But it honestly does feel like I get faster with worn out tires, which makes no sense. But, I mean, hey, we've been rocking it the whole season so far, so I don't feel the need to necessarily change it. But like I did say, if there's any settings you guys think I should change now that we're basically halfway through the season, feel free to let me know. Anything that you feel like would make it a bit more engaging or more competitive in an overall manner, I will definitely read those and take them into consideration. It looks like, I don't know if Joey Logano's out there all alone. There might be one car next to him out there battling for the lead. Yeah, there's one car at least next to him. But we're making up ground here. If there's no caution, which is a big if at this point, I really feel like we should at the very least get a top 20, which, you know, considering we qualified dead last, I don't think is something I could really complain about. But I would still like some better cars from Richard Petty Motorsports, if we're being honest. Also, I will be going ahead and changing the paint scheme on this car after this race. It's been a while, so I'm recording this a few days after like a recent patch came out, which is supposed to fix like some of the number colors. So, you know, hopefully it looks a bit better. But it'll be a completely different style paint scheme, just because I wanted to... I don't want to switch it like every race, because that's a bit tedious, as that was a terrible corner entry. But I do want to, you know, change it up a little bit throughout the season. It's not like the good old days where, you know, one driver always had the same sponsor with the same paint scheme for the entire year, so it's easy to identify. Now it's like, hey, you know, what sponsor are they running this week, and what variation of that paint scheme are they running? Because there's just way too many. Honestly, I don't know if it's just because obviously there's a lot of different sponsors nowadays, or if it's because diecast companies would like to sell, you know, 20 cars per year for one driver as opposed to, you know, 1 or 2 that they used to run back in like the 90s. Okay, so we are chasing down the 2 Erics. Kind of funny how they always seem to be together in this series, Eric Jones, Eric Almirola. We should be able to get to them. The question is, how much farther can we actually get? We have a few cars here. We have those 2, and then we have some car ahead of them. I can't tell exactly who that is. Actually, it might be Joey Gase, who's a lap down. Well, okay, there's Christopher Bell too, but I'm talking more so the car that's a bit farther ahead. We can probably get up there. I don't think we can get any farther because there's only 5 laps left, and our car is, you know, not that much quicker. Although, you know, obviously the later in the run we get, the faster it should be. Okay, so Eric Almirola is going to drift up the hill. Eric Jones is going to go all the way down basically to the apron. We're going to make the moves as we get them because we kind of need to be aggressive here if we want to actually have any good finishing position. This is Chris Buescher actually ahead of us. Can we get to him and steal away a top 15 in a race where honestly this car is probably like the 30th or 35th, maybe even worse, best car on overall pace. It's just the fact that on a long run, we don't lose as much grip. If it wasn't for that setting, honestly, I think we would probably not be finishing in the top 35 in this race. That's the only reason why I have it on. I know some people have asked for me to take it off, but I really think without that, this would not be entertaining or fun in the slightest. We're at least doing this way. We're like semi-competitive. We can actually race with some cars. We're not just struggling to, you know, survive. Okay, we have made it to the rear bumper of Chris Buescher. 2 laps to go. I'm just going to absolutely send it because who knows? Maybe there's a chance we can get up there to Kurt and Jimmy. I really don't think so. I mean, they're almost 2 seconds ahead, so that would be pretty impressive. But maybe they get, you know, together. They cause a little bit of contact. Maybe they wreck on the final lap. Honestly, I don't think I would want to restart at this point. I don't want to go to overtime. Also, it looks like Chase Elliott might have just passed Joey Logano coming with a white flag. Can he pull off his first win of the season? Well, I've said this before. I think I said this in the last episode. The Hendrick cars really just don't seem to perform very well in this game. I think their driver ratings are way too low for where they should be at least in my opinion. But is he going to do it? Chase Elliott coming out of the final corner is going to come around, and I don't want to jinx it. But okay, my car's also sideways. He's going to come around. He's going to win the race. Congratulations! Look at that. We needed a few more laps, but we're going to come home and still a 15th place. Honestly, again, I can't really complain about it. This car was absolutely terrible, so that's probably better than I would have expected. But now moving on to the overall race results, we can see that it was actually very close. Chase Elliott, that might have been a side-by-side finish, to be honest, beats out Joey Logano for his first win of the season. Truex, Bowman, Hamlin rounding up the top 5, and then of course Kyle Busch has to be right there at 6th place. We really did not make up any ground on them. And then of course, looking at the point standings after what I believe to be the halfway point of the season, we are now looking at Kyle Busch 2 points ahead of Denny Hamlin. Really, they're not really separating from each other at all. They're just pulling ahead from the rest of the field pretty consistently. But they're not really, you know, one's not dominating the other. And now it is 1, 2, 3 in the standings for Joe Gibbs Racing as Truex jumps all the way from tied with me to ahead of Ryan Newman. So we're not doing that great. But then, you know, if you look down the list, you can see that Chase Elliott, who picks up the win, moves up to 12th in points. So he's trying to make some kind of resurgence. But honestly, outside of the top 2, it's looking pretty unlikely that anybody else really is going to compete for the championship, as you can just see the complete carnage going on in the background. But hey, half the season still have to go. Who knows? Maybe Truex is actually going to be the one that we have to look out for. But still, to this point, nobody has won more than 2 races so far. So who's going to be the first one to win 3? Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. And who knows? Maybe nobody will. It'll just be that kind of chaotic season. But anyways, that will wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys for joining me if you made it this far in the longest race of the season. And if you have made it this far, please consider leaving a like. It would really help me out a lot. And next time, we head on over to Pocono for a 17-lap race, which seems pretty short, and I think it is because it's shorter than they generally were in the past. But hopefully, we can turn it up from here because we are now officially in the second half of the season. So, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.